Yo, what's up, and welcome to the first ever episode of the John Squared Gaming Show. This is the wait. Do we do pilots? Is pilots only TV shows, or is
No, we'll do seasons. It's all right.
okay? This is the pilot episode of the John Squared Gaming Show. My name is John,
My name is also John.
and I know what you're probably thinking. if if you multiply or if you square one, you just get one, and you're correct. Now, the idea behind John Squared is if you square one of us with the other one, you get the equivalent of one John, because we're both about half as smart and funny and all of that as one John. So together we make the perfect John.
One person. See, I thought you were gonna say. I know what you're thinking. Uh, why are two more straight white guys making a podcast? But
That as well. And if you're interested in two dudes with generic white guy names talking about video games, then you've come to the right place, my friend. If not, then see ya.
the same exact generic white guy name.
Yeah. It was meant to be. So for the first episode, we are going to talk a little bit about E3 because that just happened. Our thoughts on that, our favorite announcements, or if we had any, and then the main topic of the show is going to be Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart that came out last Friday. You have finished it, right?
Yeah, finish it. I'm halfway through the challenge mode now.
Okay, I just rolled credits on it yesterday. I like 100%ed it my first, except for the Bears, but we'll get into that in a minute. So first, let's talk about E3. What was your favorite announcement from E3, and what were your overall thoughts on it?
I think Breath of the Wild was my favorite. I feel like I'm underwhelmed every year, but it's because I expect too much.
Yeah,
Like,
I go ahead.
we were talking about the other day about Final Fantasy, and that was the one thing I wanted to see was them put something out about Final Fantasy VII Part 2, and didn't get it.
I honestly don't know if we're getting that until like 2023. Honestly, they took so long, and like obviously they have the engine and stuff now, but I just don't. I'm not confident in seeing that anytime soon.
I think we'll be in our 30s. If I'm being honest.
That's not that far away.
No.
Absolute fucking pain, dude. Yeah, Breath of the Wild was that's yeah, the first Breath of the Wild is obviously one of my favorite games of all time, if not my favorite game. But I kind of expected it. I really liked seeing Halo. I thought Nintendo's presentation as a whole kind of was a letdown. Just for my personal taste, I wanted to see a little bit more.
It was bad. I have no loyalty to Nintendo. I think it was bad.
Yeah. The Metroid game looks really cool. I think that looks really fucking sick. I'm not down to pay $60 for it.
No.
That's another thing. Like a lot of these games look really like the Mario Party. I think that's kind of corny the way that they the Super Mario Party, the first one for the Switch, like hardly had any support. It just got its first DLC, and then it almost just felt like hey, here's this DLC for you, but we want you to pay $60 for this other one. This one looks like it's better, but I just have this like bad taste in my mouth from the last one. I paid $60 for that, and
When I said it was bad, that's sort of what I meant. Like, all those games are going to cost at least $40 to $60.
you're right.
Maybe two of them were worth that.
Yeah.
The rest of it, it's not. You're just stealing money.
Yeah. Listen, I love Wario. I love the character, and I love the WarioWare games. $50. I don't even know how much they cost because I was so poor when I played the other ones. I always bought them either like completely, like years after they came out, or like discounted a lot. I don't know how much the MSRP was for that, but $50 is a little steep for that. It looks like something I want to play, but it also looks like something that should be free to play.
There's that. I don't know the name of the game because it upset me so much. But I think it was right before the Zelda thing, where it was a mobile game, and you're gonna take actual money for that.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
That's a scam.
But in my opinion, I think Xbox really brought it. I really liked their presentation. I'm so excited for Halo. I really hope it comes out this year. And they just kept proving more and more how much of a deal Game Pass really is. All of those games coming, well, with the exception of like Battlefield but like every single first party game that they showed and a couple third party ones like Back for Blood, a game that I was really excited for anyways and was going to pay full price for. Like they're just like, here you go. Like
that's the selling point, is like the only reason I want a new Xbox or anything, even though you don't need it because they announced the whatever it's going to plug into your TV.
right.
But like those games are the only reason I want it. The fact that Game Pass works that way, all these brand new games are essentially free at launch.
Right.
That's incredible. Sony, I don't think they have anything even close to that.
No,
now. I mean, even that's not great.
It's not great. PS Plus had a couple months where they had a really good run where they were giving away bangers. It's kind of died down a little bit, but it's just still nothing compared to Game Pass. The only for PS5 players or PS5 owners, you got that collection. The collection that you get with the PS5, I mean, we both obviously own that, so we got to we got that benefit. But Jesus, dude, that was like, that game collection is just that's like the best of the best.
I think that's part of the issue, like all the blowback they kind of get, especially when it comes to like how good Game Pass is.
Right.
Is that collection is really good, but there's not enough consoles.
Right.
So people can't even play it.
Right. At least it'll always be there. But the one thing about E3 that I will say, like, I obviously have like really high I know in my head that I had too high of expectations for this. Like for Nintendo, I wanted to see Bayonetta 3. I wanted to see maybe a teaser of a new 3D Mario or something, because it's getting, the Breath of the Wild came out the same year as Odyssey. So, but I obviously was expecting too much. I know COVID impacted a lot of the development for a lot of these games, but just the obvious hole in E3 was PlayStation not being there.
Yeah.
And
I mean, they have nothing to show. Do they have any exclusives in the work besides Horizon?
I think if I had to guess, we're gonna see a state of play announced within 2 or 3 weeks. I think. I think they
have to.
Yeah. Especially with what Xbox brought. Everyone's so hyped for Xbox, and then Bethesda, like Starfield, all of that stuff. They brought that. Starfield's not coming till later next year, but still, just all those games, Stalker 2, which I haven't played the first one, but it just looks amazing. All these, like, it's just so much hype around Xbox. PlayStation has to do something. They have to. And I think that within 2 or 3 weeks, we're going to see a state of play announced. I think they're going to put a release date on Horizon. They're going to let us know if it's delayed or not. I think, I don't know that much about how things work in this industry, but I think when they saw Breath of the Wild in 2022 and it might even be like end of 2022, 23, I think Horizon, I don't think it wants to compete with Breath of the Wild again, because it got overshadowed so bad in 2017 when that game came out. I think when they saw that, it's like more motivation. They're like, we got to get this out 2021. If we get it out in like November, it's game of the year. It'll probably be game of the year if it comes out.
I have a feeling that Naughty Dog has something up their sleeve.
Well, the multiplayer, the factions.
Oh no, I mean like a new game. I mean like they've been too quiet for me.
Yeah. Well, obviously the Last of Us 1 remake is being worked on. I don't know if Naughty Dog's like main team is doing that. I know people were like upset when that was announced. I don't like, if Naughty Dog only ever made The Last of Us, I'm cool with it. I love it. Yeah. I love it so much. If they just literally kept remaking, I would keep buying it because I'm such a pussy and I like literally just anything Last of Us, I just will eat right up.
That was my thing. Is like I was annoyed. I was one of the people, but it's like I'm still gonna buy it.
Yeah, you're right.
But while we're on the topic of E3, money on games, uh, I'm not paying $70 for Battlefield. I think it will get buried by Warzone because you're paying $70 for multiplayer. That seems insane to me.
Right, and I thought them being a part of Xbox's conference was they were going to announce it was on Game Pass, which would just do so much for that game.
Yeah.
It would do so much, and I get that that's a lot to ask for a full price game. EA, I think what if I had to guess, what's going to end up happening is it's going to come out, it's not going to sell very well, and then they're going to put it on Game Pass quickly. I think it'll be on Game Pass quickly, and that might help, but it might be too late. I haven't seen enough of it. I know there's like betas and stuff where that can really help if they put a beta out. It's really good, or it's like okay with things that they need to improve on, and they take the feedback and actually do stuff with it. That can really help. But I mean, Battlefield hasn't been good in a long time. So yeah,
And you removed the campaign completely.
Yeah.
That's the thing is like it's cool to focus on the multiplayer, but like that's all you did. You just did that.
Yeah, and I get people being upset about that. Personally, I don't fucking care because I didn't even install. I I didn't install the cold. I paid $70 for Cold War, and I didn't install the campaign. I'm not interested in it. A first person shooter campaign has to do a lot for me to care about it, and I just like, especially like I know for a fact EA would phone it in, and Call of Duty does regularly. The games look really cool, but they don't really do anything that's special that makes me want to play them. So
I played was it Battlefield 4?
the first one that came out for PS4, that's Battlefield 4.
Yeah, that one. I played that. I played the campaign, and it was really cool. The way they did it was interesting, and I liked it.
Yeah, I played that game a lot, and I never played the campaign. I'm
trying to think of how to. There's nothing at the current price point of games. You have to do something exciting.
Yeah,
and I feel like that doesn't do it.
Or you have to have like the goodwill and the trust of people. Like, I don't want this to sound like a podcast where we're just jerking Sony off, but you have to have that. Look at the last 5 years, 6-7 years of Sony. It has been quality after quality after quality. It's been nonstop hits, and that's why they're at the top right now.
That's why they're not worried about Game Pass.
And
as much as they should be.
Right. On the other hand, EA, like, you don't have that. People are mad at you for FIFA. People are mad at you for Madden. People are mad at you for all of the like the microtransactions, the slimy stuff that you've done. So like again, it's a hard thing to ask someone to commit a full price game for multiplayer only, especially when you have games like Warzone, and they already have a free to play. The Apex is EA, like they have that, so it's hard. That's really hard to ask. But back to what Sony could show at their conference. I'm not expecting a lot, but something from God of War. It was literally announced last time. Go ahead.
It getting delayed kind of. I thought they would show something. It getting delayed kind of makes me think they're not going to.
I think the second they showed 2021, I said no fucking chance. It just didn't like I didn't believe that for a second. Honestly, I would have liked to see it if it was ready, but that's one of those games like a Zelda where honestly it's like take your time, because the God of War 2018 was a fucking masterpiece. I know you didn't finish it, and it might not be your thing, but it like to me, it's like one of those games that's right up there, and it's just like you take the time you need to get this right, because it's gonna be another 10 out of 10. Like,
well, I loved it. I didn't finish it, but I did love it. It's just because there are other games that kept coming out.
Yeah, and that's
I do plan on finishing it, which says something because I usually don't do that.
Yeah. Um, but other than that, there have been rumor. I mean, this would be like the most hype conference ever. I'm not expecting all of these, but for Sony, like, um, there was rumors of a Silent Hill like reboot or a Metal Gear Solid 1 remake, stuff like that. That would be like stuff that's cool to see. Is that Metal Gear Solid never clicked with me,
Yeah.
but when a faithful remake, I know you and I are one of the only two people that I know that are kind of have the same thoughts on like retro games and stuff. While like I at least I acknowledge that they're like good at the core. I know you don't, but
They're all
like
garbage. They're all bad.
there's something about a good a faithful remake that just like breathes new life into a game or a franchise like Final Fantasy. I I would never touch before. I mean, Pokemon is like the only turn-based game that I was ever interested in, and then we got Final Fantasy VII Remake, which fused turn-based and like Kingdom Hearts, which we both are fans of,
Yeah.
and it was one of my favorite games last year. In a stacked year from Sony last year. So maybe I would be interested in a Metal Gear Solid 1 remake just to see what that would look like, but I just know it would just be like super hype. It's instantly the internet would like it would be trending. It
Well,
would be yeah, right.
I might try a remake of Metal Gear Solid. I will never play a Silent Hill game. I I
I'm
don't
in.
like spending money to get scared.
I'm in.
So I don't go to haunted houses.
So other than Xbox killing it at E3, Breath of the Wild 2 or whatever the fuck they're gonna call it because they won't tell us apparently.
Breath of the
Um,
Wild, Ganon is the bad guy.
I know there's all these like theories and stuff. It's cool for me to see. I'm not like I absolutely love Zelda as a franchise. Um, but I'm not like super into the lore. Like I don't know all the like the races and tribes and shit like that. Like um but it's cool to see other people like speculate and be able to look at like they go frame by frame in that Breath of the Wild 2 thing and just um make these theories and stuff like that's cool. I almost like I almost want to get into the lore and stuff just to be like oh yeah like the Gerudo yeah I get that too yeah like I don't know
I went
but
on Twitter for 2 minutes and saw a full synopsis today. I was blown away.
but did anything else speak to you? I know
Uh,
we were talking about Wonderland or the Wonderlands or whatever the Borderlands like
yeah,
spinoff.
yeah. That everyone shits on that series at this point because they think the humor is immature and blah blah. I
Yeah,
love it.
no,
It's still one of the best franchises in my opinion.
it's still nostalgic for me no matter what. Yeah, Borderlands 3 got a lot of shit. I think it was still really good.
Yeah,
Um, I don't expect Borderlands to like change too
you're
much. I
not.
don't expect it to reinvent the wheel or anything. It's just
Yeah, you're
good,
not looking
mindless
for
fun.
game of the year. You're not looking for like a God of War or a Breath of the Wild. You're looking for just mindless fun.
Right. In this Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, I don't know if it's plural, but it's not like a first person shooter. I don't know if there's even guns in it. It's all it was described as Dungeons and Dragons, and Tina is the dungeon master, which sounds awesome to me. And obviously,
There it is.
Andy Samberg being in it, just I'm in. I was in before Andy Samberg's in it. I'm way more in.
They have a full Hollywood cast as like the characters.
Awesome. I
I mean,
fucking love it.
it's gonna be good no matter what.
I'm so in on that. I'm really stoked for that. And then other than that, the I know you were cautiously optimistic. You said about Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
It is
that the Avengers game soured me. I
that's fair.
It being built off that engine and just the short clip they showed, it still looked to me. I hope
Man,
it's good. I really hope it's good. I think they could do a lot that could make it a decent game,
Yeah.
but I don't know if I trust them to. Is my thing.
I I've always liked um Guardians of the Galaxy, like the movies that came out. I are some of my favorite Marvel movies. Um Whereas like I'm not like I like the MCU, but like I'm not like like super into it to like I haven't even seen all the movies. I haven't seen any of the Hulk movies. Like I've missed one of the Captain America movies, and I just don't feel pulled to. Yeah, I know.
You
So
should see those.
that's what I'm saying. Like I didn't even. That's why I didn't feel called to Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
That I
Um,
think you would like that regardless. That's really good.
mm. um, but Guardians of the Galaxy has always been something I wanted to see it because I fucking love Dave Bautista in the first place, and I love Chris
Yeah.
Pratt. But the characters, I know that the Groot thing kind of got to like a Minions level of like that's what it became after. I still just love all the characters in that in those movies. I know, and then the game with Marvel's Avengers, and then this, it's kind of weird like seeing people that you like that's not Chris Pratt and that's not Dave
Yeah.
Bautista. It's just almost like bootleg MCU, but I feel good about it being a single player game. I feel really good about that. I feel really good that there's no microtransactions. I'm
Thank God.
dude, I'm sold. I'm all in on it.
So I don't think you read comics, right? I don't. You don't know how to read
Not regularly. Yeah.
comics.
Yeah, I don't.
Uh, but that the character models are based almost exactly off the comics. I don't know if they're going to pull a story
Okay.
from it, but that and the personalities are the comics.
Uh, and another thing, like it's coming this year. It's I forgot when I think it was October or
Like soon.
yeah. That my biggest problem with E3 this year, and I like I said, I thought Xbox knocked it out of the park, but a lot of the hype other than Halo, the big hype is all coming next year, and that's like the Xbox has no games argument that people in corny console wars they do, just not right now necessarily.
Well, it's corny console wars, but I agree with it. I mean, you launched two new consoles and put out zero games.
Yeah. Um, and they were
I
expecting to have Halo.
Yeah, and that did. I mean, COVID definitely
Yeah.
pranked
But
them. But
but in light of that, and they after I because I don't think that they planned this first year to go like that. For them to go out and buy Bethesda, for them to make all these deals to get these games, these third party games, day one on Game Pass, where they made a deal with Square Enix to get Outriders, a game that it is dead now, but I enjoyed the hell out of that game when it first started, and there was no chance in hell that I was gonna buy that game. So
oh
getting to
no,
play it on Game Pass, I ended up putting like 50, 60 hours into that game, where it's just almost like one of those Borderlands things where it's mindless fun. I loved that game. I loved just not just going shooting, not thinking about there's the story. I couldn't tell you a fucking thing about it, but it's just one of those
no.
things. So Microsoft and Xbox have done a lot to make up for the fact that they don't have first party games right now, but they're coming. And when if those hit, if they're not that review scores are like the end all be all, they're not gospel or anything like that. But if they hit in the 80s, like high 70s, and they're coming every single quarter, like Xbox is going to be, that's going to be scary for PlayStation.
Monster. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops. Yeah.
So yeah, I overall like Xbox and Nintendo carried E3 with a couple of different announcements. I was pissed that I sat through Square Enix because right after Guardians of the Galaxy was over, I thought it was dog shit, and like I sat through Capcom's awful.
Yeah.
I started watching Gearbox because I thought maybe we would see something about it. Oh my god, dude, it was awful.
Yeah. I didn't even know they made other games. If I'm being honest. I thought it was Borderlands.
Well, they tried to make that like Godfall game.
God,
It was a launch game for PS5. It did not do very well.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
the big announcement for Gearbox this year was that Godfall, a PS5 exclusive, has been downgraded and ported to the PlayStation 4. That was their big announcement. So yeah,
Oh, that's good. Great.
most of that stuff, most of these conferences didn't need to be conferences in my opinion, but overall, like I got enough out of it. I thought it was fun. Like, I literally cannot say enough how excited I am for Halo. And then also another game that like has my attention is Elden Ring. Um, I have never been able to get invested in a Souls game.
Yeah.
This is a Souls game, but it's like the first time it's open. From what I've seen, and I could be completely fucking wrong, but it looks like they took Breath of the Wild style, like that Zelda style game, and then mixed it with Souls, which that could be what gets me into it. Because,
Well,
go ahead.
everyone's stealing Breath of the Wild style at this point. I mean,
Right.
you have to. Every open world is because it was so perfect.
Right.
That I mean, you might as well.
Yeah. That's just the way video games work. Someone has this revolutionary idea, then the other people like iterate off of it, and that's fine because like playing Breath of the Wild and then replaying Horizon Zero Dawn this year, it was very obvious why Breath of the Wild coming out the week after or a couple weeks after just completely outshined it, because I love Horizon Zero Dawn obviously, but Breath of the Wild did traversal in that game so much better. It made it so much. Whereas Horizon had a way better story. You had to dig deep to get a story in Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild, just like exploring and stuff, was just it's as good as it gets.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Horizon 2 is they stole the glider.
Right. Yeah.
Because they realized they needed to.
Yep. Yeah, I'm super hyped for that. But enough about E3. Let's get into the topic of the show, which is Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. First off, do we want to do ratings?
I have a bit of a. It's not a rant about the game. It's a rant about the industry as a whole. If you want to give a rating, you can. But I have some things to say that I'm upset about.
I kind of want to hear what you have to say. We'll go. Let's hear what you have to say about this.
Let me preface it. I love the game. Love the franchise. 8.5 out of 10. Loses a point and a half because they paid $70 for 15 hours worth of gameplay. And that is ridiculous to me. Especially, you have people that only buy 2 to 3 games a year sometimes, because that's all they can afford, especially now with $70 being the price point.
Right.
You're only going to make them 15 hours? And it was 15 hours to 100% it. I mean, that's not anything.
I'm 15 hours in and I haven't 100%ed it. But no, I get what you're saying. And not to go back right away, but that's like why Game Pass, like,
yeah, no, that's exactly.
You get to try a game, you download it, you're like, wait, this is dog shit, or wait, this is only 5 hours, this is only like 7 hours. Okay, cool. I move on to the next game. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
I don't like shitty. Like, I understand it takes a lot more to develop for these consoles. I get it. Especially, it looks incredible. But man, $70? That's insane.
Yeah. So I think I just have a different way of thinking about these. Like if it were set, like if it were 15 hours and it was like not top notch, you know, then I would start to have a problem with it. This is the best looking game I think I've ever seen. I didn't
mean to cut you off, but I think the main difference is I'm cheap, so I'm always gonna have a problem with.
But that's no, that's fair. I think people don't acknowledge that enough. I think a lot of people who review games, I would never knock like a score off for like not being like for the price, you know, like but that doesn't get brought up enough, that these people who either get sent review codes or like are better off, like more like, and not, and we're in a situation where like we can afford this, but like me as a kid, like I could never play Ratchet and Clank day one, even at what $40 where they were. Was that what a full price game was when we were?
I bought the original 3 for $10 each in a clearance bin at Walmart.
Right. It's like like now we're in a better spot, but like still, I get the argument of like there are people who are worse off than us, not,
Yeah.
and they they only buy 2 games a year, 3 games a year. This was one of them, and then they're done in a weekend. I would get that people being upset about that. However, for me, this is currently my game of the year so far.
Yeah.
If I had to put a rating on it, I don't like ratings all that much. I think it's fun sometimes, but I'd probably give it a 9.5. I absolutely adored this game. Like I said, I think it's like the best looking game I've ever seen. It literally looks like a Disney or a Pixar movie that you're playing. If you and especially I played on the. Did you play on the 60 frames per second?
Yeah, performance mode.
Performance mode. Yeah. I just for like 30 minutes put on fidelity, whereas at 30 frames the ray tracing is way, like, it is turned up, the lighting's turned up, the resolutions are just like all the way maxed, and my god. And then you go in photo mode and you just look at character models from off in like the distance and stuff. Everything has detail. There was not one thing that was skipped over in this.
The photo mode, that's one of my favorite things that PlayStation's doing now, is just stopping that game. Because even in the middle of a fight, I would go into photo mode and just look around.
Yeah.
Especially because you could do the thing where like you keep the motion and what's going on in the background.
Yeah.
Like that was I didn't know if I wanted to talk about the price because everything else about the game is so good.
Yeah. Well,
it almost made me forget.
I think it's fair. I still think it's fair, and I think that people like not that we're gonna have a huge audience for this, but so there are people. There are obviously people that are gonna listen to this who are like, yeah, you're right, and that's a fair, like, people do need to hear that, like, we finished this in a weekend.
Yeah, I stopped myself Sunday night so I wouldn't finish it then, and then I could finish it Monday.
So the thing for me is I plan on playing through this multiple times, even if I just get through it again. I'm like I went on like the hardest difficulty. I started that. I only got through the first world. It is a lot harder. It is really fucking hard.
Even in just the normal challenge mode, they double the enemies that come after you. So even that's hard.
Yeah. But
I was pitching, but I'm already like halfway through my second playthrough.
Right. It gave me the gameplay itself, the combat and all this stuff was so similar to Miles Morales, which obviously they're the same developers and stuff, where it's just so fucking fun. Like, I don't really know. There's no other way for me to describe it other than it's just fun and addicting, and I never wanted to stop playing it.
Yeah, it's fun and it's fluid and everything connects and you can do whatever you want whenever you want to.
Mm-hmm.
It's just. That franchise is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated franchises there is. I feel like it gets overlooked.
It sucks that it went that long, like almost 10 years. What was it, like, Into the Nexus was in 2013, and then we had the movie game in 2016, which I thought was good, but it is not even close to the same level as this game.
But the thing is, they use the character models from the 2016 one for Ratchet.
They did a lot more detail.
Well, I know, but I'm saying, like, that's not the. If you look at Into the Nexus Ratchet and then you look at this one,
yeah,
it's night and day. It's not this. It doesn't look like the same character.
Yeah, I just didn't feel like once I finished 2016 Ratchet and Clank, I was like, I'm kind of cool. I'm done with this for now. I even, like, while playing it, because I just played it for the first time earlier this year, I liked it. It was good, but this is just like Insomniac is on a full another level right now. I think you could make the argument that they're the best developer in the world.
Yeah.
They have technically put out 3 games. So they have Miles Morales. They just remastered the original Spider-Man. What they did a lot to it. I mean, gave it a 60 frames per second mode, changed Peter's face for some reason, and added like ray tracing and updated a lot of the like resolutions and stuff. Also the load times they made it for the PS5, and those games are just not. I mean, they're stunning, but they're just like Ratchet and Clank, man. Like I can't.
Ratchet and Clank is what the PS5 games are going to look like going forward.
Yeah. And that's what excites me. I know that there's a lot of like people are upset that Horizon Forbidden West and the next God of War game are going to be on PS4 as well, and that apparently they think that it's going to hold it back. And I guess to an extent I agree, but going forward after that for PS5 only games, if this is what we're getting, and that even goes for Xbox, because obviously they have an even more powerful console. So like if that's what these consoles are capable of, like god damn, I'm excited.
Yeah.
But so they have Spider-Man, then they updated Ratchet and Clank 2016. They just gave it they put a performance mode on it.
Yeah.
Where they gave it 60 frames per second, and like that game 5 years old, and are they magicians? Like what are they? How are they doing all of this shit? And they're just making everyone else look bad, in my opinion.
Are we doing spoilers or no?
I was gonna stay spoiler free, for the most part. I don't. Because I feel like I don't want people to,
especially if they haven't gotten a chance yet.
Right.
I get that. They have themselves in a position now where they can have sequels to some of their biggest hits that came out already for this console,
and
be set. Or now they have the liberty, because of how well they've done,
right,
to do something brand new.
Yeah. What did you think about Rivet and Kit?
I enjoyed them. It reminded me, especially Kit reminded me of what Clank was in the beginning.
They also they remind me of myself too.
But Rivet is I think more of a personality than Ratchet is, and I enjoy that. Yeah. I think she's more fun. I still have the connection with Ratchet just because it's been so many games.
Yeah.
I think Rivet and Kit are really good.
Yeah. I honestly found myself liking Rivet and Kit. Like I like playing as them more. I think just because I just played through Ratchet and Clank 2016, maybe. Not that I still enjoyed Ratchet and Clank. I thought that their characters were a little bit better, like written in this. There was more dialogue between them and stuff. I loved Rivet. I absolutely loved. I loved her story, and not to give anything away, but then the connection between her and Kit. I thought that was really cool, but that's also something that I kind of thought that it could have been another 2 or 3 hours longer to kind of, not that Ratchet and Clank has ever been known for its story. I thought the story was really solid. It wasn't anything groundbreaking. It was good. It was, it's Ratchet and Clank has never been known for their in-depth, their Last of Us or God of War storytelling. That's not what it is.
Imagine a story where Clank has to avenge Ratchet's death. As if he was Joel.
Also, every Ratchet and Clank game automatically starts off as a 99.9 or a 9.9 if we're grading it out of 10 because of Clank's laugh. infuriates
Oh
me.
yeah.
It, oh my god, the he. Oh, whenever he does it, I get so
So
upset.
good.
I no, I hate it. I fucking
I
hate it.
love it.
I absolutely
I
hate it.
I I love it so much.
And then for them, this is a spoiler, not that it's a fucking big one, but that's the last thing that you hear in the game is his stupid fucking laugh. I got so mad.
Oh,
Um,
I got a non-spoiler spoiler. So 3, 2, 1. When Clank says shit, I
oh,
fucking
I
lost
died.
it,
I
dude.
fucking, I was,
So good.
I had to pause it because I was laughing. I just was not, I was not expecting it at all.
I like that they bleeped it. I like that they didn't even let it.
Yeah, right. Um, and I don't know if this is spoiler to say, but I think going from here, um, we may see a Rivet and Kit DLC or a Rivet and Kit, like full spin-off game. Maybe even it's like if it's like a Miles Morales type of game where it's not like it's like a $40, like I don't know what to call Miles Morales. It's a mini game. Yes,
It's a tie-in. That's
yeah,
it's a spin-off type tie-in because the next Spider-Man game is going to be Spider-Man and Miles Morales together.
yeah, right.
I mean,
Um,
I so that's the spoiler I was trying to avoid, but the fact that they have an opportunity to make a Rivet and Clank, no, Rivet and Kit game and Ratchet and Clank, or use all four in the next game
yeah,
because you know they're going to do another one.
I would love to see a Rivet and Kit like Miles Morales type game. Um,
Yep.
that would be I want to see more of them. I like I'm cool with more Ratchet and Clank in the future, but I in the immediate future, like that's what I want next. I thought both of their characters were so fun. Um, like Rivet, it just brought another like flavor to Ratchet, the Ratchet and Clank series, in my opinion.
Well, my I don't think this is a spoiler. If it is, you can cut it. I I think that they have the opportunity now to have Rivet and Ratchet go after, like, try to find the Lombaxes together.
Yeah, right.
Like they have that in their back pocket and they know it.
You're like, I don't think this is a spoiler, but everyone fucking dies at the end. It's fucking nuts, man. Like,
I if you want, I'll do the whole synopsis. I'll be a Zelda fan.
if we got into spoilers and not that like I said, not that this is super like story intensive, but I feel like we could do this all night. With theories and stuff. There's I don't know if you guys
I was
saw
gonna say
Connor.
I saw a tail.
It's Connor. He's been sent to horny jail. This is where the
Oh,
this
let
is
him
where
out.
this
Free
is where
him.
this is where the horny boys hang.
Being
But
horny is not a crime.
his is a fucking crime. But yeah, I just this game was, uh, despite the length, God, I fucking loved it, and I can see me going back to this game years, like yearly. I could see myself going back and playing some of this every year until we get another Ratchet and Clank game, or it just has that same vibe as Miles Morales. They are Insomniac is just in such a groove and a flow right now that they just don't miss. They really
There's a
don't.
good shot that when we're done here, I might go play another half hour, 45 minutes of it.
Yeah,
That's how into it I am.
it's a game. It's one of those games where I like can't stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like I got done playing. Like we have our Friday nights where we all play multiplayer games, and I was thinking about Ratchet and Clank, and then Saturday I fucking sat there and played at least 8 or 9 hours, and then Sunday woke up and instantly thought of it. Also, something I want to touch on for this game: the audio. Did you play with headphones on?
No, but I'm assuming you did.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so that means you didn't hear the controller. That's what I wanted to talk about.
Oh,
The DualSense controller is the most incredible thing to happen to video games in a minute. They have specific noises come out of the controller for certain things that you're doing throughout the game.
that's so fucking sick, dude. I'll have to
And
try it. I'll have to try it without headphones.
it's so incredible.
Also, the vibration when when a ship goes across the screen and it's
Yeah,
going like this, and you can feel it in the controller how it kind of shifts the
it's that
vibration.
being able to hold the controllers half down to do different things with each gun.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's weird because I don't. I know we joke about being old, but we're not that old. And the fact that we've gotten to see the PS1 to this in
Right.
our lifetimes, and it's been in the span where we get to play every new generation, is so wild to me.
Yeah.
Like the PS1 didn't even have joysticks on it,
Right.
and now we have a controller that is projecting sound and giving you feel of what's happening in the game.
Now, I don't know how this works, but I and I don't know like if I even got this right, but from what I understand, the sounds that come out of the DualSense are the vibrations. The vibrations are making the sounds that come out of the yeah. That's like the because I mean sound is just like like it's just movement, you know, like it's the way that the controller vibrates is what creates the noises that come out of the controller. And then yeah. And
Huh?
that like a record player where it creates the noise and then the speaker on the controller amplifies it. It's it's like a mini like how records work, how it's like
I think you're lying to me.
that's what I sat through the fucking oh, what's his name? Mark Cerny. Because I was just horny for any PlayStation news back. It was like last March. Before like way before they announced anything, he started going into sounds and like 3D audio and then like controller stuff. Dude, it's either way. It's just crazy the level of immersion that we get in this generation. I thought last generation was phenomenal with that, and I honestly thought to myself, how do we get any better? Like, how are we getting better than this? And we are in
I
in
mean,
in ways that I never would have guessed.
The Last of Us Part Two having the where you can strum the guitar. I mean, even that's
Yeah,
why wasn't everybody utilizing that kind of stuff?
right. Um, yeah, dude. Just the so
I don't.
so I like I said, I wore headphones during the my playthrough. I wore like over ear ones. I wasn't wearing these.
Yeah,
Um, and the like spatial audio or like 3D audio. I don't know if like what I think it's 3D audio where you can literally hear like I when I played Returnal, like I was telling you about how that was where it's like when you're walking and also Resident Evil Village where if someone's like right behind you, it fucking sounds like there's someone's like right behind you. And after like I said, so Saturday I played at least 8 hours and I had my headphones on that entire time and just like the pew like all the noises coming off and like when an enemy is like I know right where an enemy is if he's shooting at me from behind because I can hear him. I can literally hear
yeah.
his whatever dumb shit that he's saying or his gunshots. I know where they're coming from and even like all of the sound effects and everything coming through and like completely like I'm completely immersed in this. I'm literally trying to go to bed that night and I just hear these things in my head still. It's so fucked up where it's just
Which
like
what you're saying is they make you go crazy.
yes, literally. I'm literally hearing like fucking pew, pew, pew in my head and it dude, I
You're waking your poor wife up in the middle of the night because you're hearing pew pew. That is terrible.
I it just I I just don't and now we're gonna get to a point in this generation where we're gonna say, I don't know how we're gonna get any better than this, and then in some fucking way we're going to like
We're
that.
gonna
It's
start
just
feeling the gunshots in PlayStation 6. Is what's
yeah,
gonna
we're gonna
happen.
have to like hook things up to our bodies, and we're gonna feel
We're gonna have
actual
to wear the
pain.
mocap suits, and we're gonna have to do all the stuff.
um. So yeah, I like it. I would recommend this game to if you have a PlayStation 5. And you're looking for I mean, if you have a PlayStation 5, then you're I guess considered a hardcore gamer. I would say
I don't like that.
you're
I don't.
you're at least more. You're not casual, is what
Yeah,
else. Unless you're just fucking rich and just like
you
like
also got quick reflexes because they went pretty quick.
yeah. Um.
Good internet. Good for you. You're doing well.
um. shit, what was I just saying? So yeah. So if you have, if you were able to buy a PlayStation 5, I would recommend this because with the concerns about the length and the price, um, even with those, for me personally, I just it's as good as gaming gets in my opinion. I just think that it's so fucking perfect. I'm sure I would have loved for it to be a couple more hours, but if it was going to sacrifice any of the quality, then no, I'll take
Yeah.
this fucking triple quadruple A game. It's just God, man, it's so it's just as good as it gets,
I
and
Yeah, I would agree. I recommend it to if you're an Xbox purist, uh, and you want a reason. You're thinking about defecting, maybe going Switzerland, playing both consoles. This is the reason. And I guess I should come clean that I used the gift card to buy the game. It was $25 gift card, so I only spent 45. But I'm still not happy about the $70 price tag.
I have to come clean
Oh, you
because
snake!
I bought the deluxe version. I
You're
paid
son of.
I paid $80 for it, and I don't regret it. But I also, um,
It's just skins though, right? I mean, you get skins and stickers.
their armor, like you started with 20 raritanium, but
Oh, you
um,
snake!
I honestly, yeah, I mean, raritanium was a lot easier to find than I thought. But regardless, the main reason for it was, uh, I've always been this way to a fault, with like music and like anything that I feel passionate about, like football, wrestling, all this stuff. If I love something so much, and I feel like I owe a lot, I want to like help, and
Support it.
I want to support Insomniac because they are just fucking incredible. They are Naughty Dog makes my favorite games, but Insomniac is, I feel like you could say that they're the best developers in the world right now.
Well, I mean, I if we're coming clean right now, uh,
We are. Yep.
I had my like the thing over the deluxe version, and uh, I couldn't pull the trigger because I'm stingy. I
Yeah.
wanted to, but I
That's
was like,
fair.
if I'm just paying for skins, I ain't doing it.
But this is why this podcast should end up being really good because like I joked about us being like the same person, but we share a lot of the same tastes, but we also are like different in
Different
that
people.
aspect where I I don't mind spending a couple extra dollars to support a developer that I love, and that's just the person that I am. And
Yeah, and I'll give a developer a thumbs up on the street, but I'm not giving them
yeah,
my money.
right.
And,
And
and I mean, I I was gonna say something, I forgot what it was, so I'm just gonna back out of that.
okay. Well, what I was gonna say was, in the same way that mine helps in a literal, like, direct financial, like you talking about this to someone at work, or talking about this to somebody else and saying, "Dude, this game fucking rocks. You should play it." And you convincing somebody who maybe was on the edge or didn't even know, like, if you got to someone to do that, then you made them more money than my extra $10 that I was gonna. So in the same way, like, there's obviously different ways to support people, and I'm not like ever gonna say that you should do things a certain way, but that's just the way that I show appreciation, and I show like love and admiration. And that's like, my fucking obsession with the Wonder Years, and how
Yeah.
I like any chance I get to support them, I will. So
If
that's just the
if
way
we're
that I
talking
show.
about supporting people, what everyone out there can do is watch this,
Yes.
subscribe,
Yep. Please
listen, give us money, please. That
let
way we
us.
if you give me money, I will support the developers with your money.
Yes.
We can just say that.
Let us get to a point where you guys can fund our video game habits. We can.
Please make it so I can quit my job
Yes.
and never have to put pants on again.
Amen and amen. Is there anything else that you wanted to say about Ratchet and Clank, or
Uh Ratchet and Clank, not really. Do you want to talk about The Last of Us Part 2 quickly, or do you want to wait until next week?
No, I want a full podcast of it.
Okay, because
Um,
that's the 1 year anniversary Saturday.
yeah. That's gonna be it for today. But next week we are. So this is gonna. I'm gonna try to post this on YouTube tomorrow. The video, if
Yeah,
everything went well. And or I could wait. I actually maybe I should wait and do it Friday morning. We're gonna figure out how to get this on podcast services. We're gonna obviously try to figure out like the quality we want to get this up, and we I think this looks pretty good for a first podcast. I genuinely do. But so this will be up on YouTube on we'll do Friday, and then we'll figure out podcast services, and we're gonna start recording these Wednesday nights as long as that works for you.
Yeah.
And next week's topic is going to be the 1 year anniversary of The Last of Us Part 2. Just a couple days ago was the 8 year anniversary of the first Last of Us. We can go through all of it. It's gonna be hard for me next week. It's gonna be harder for you because you're gonna have to tell me to shut the fuck up sometimes, because I literally can go on. I could probably go on 2 hours by myself.
I have so many thoughts that I've genuinely, because we've had little discussions here and there, I've saved them thinking that we were going to do this.
Well,
and you know that I have diarrhea mouth, so it's been very hard. I have a lot of stuff to say.
I could talk about this game forever. We'll save it for next week. We'll save it for next week.
Not going to bed tonight.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys. If you were checking this out, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening. We really appreciate it.
We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We hope y'all doing well.
We hope y'all can pay $70 for a game and not have to think twice about it.
We hope y'all can pay us $70 so we can pay for games and not think twice about
it. So yeah, until next week. This was my motto, and it's my motto in life. It doesn't have to be John's, but mine is. It's
our motto now.
It's our motto. Stay horny and stay hydrated, gamers. Peace.